I'm going to let you finish your thought, Jeff. You were saying?
Well, I was just, saying, about empathy and about listening to the other side, and creating safe spaces for those that might come into, a show and say, all right, well, so and so's on the show, and they're going to reinforce what I'm already thinking, but then they might be hearing somebody else and saying, oh, well, actually, they make a good point, so it might change some minds as well.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for me, I like to have people on that agree, disagree. Actually, I think it makes it a better episode when it's somebody who disagrees, because then you're both bringing something to the table. And I think that's the best case scenario for the viewer, for the listener.
Most of my guests, Vonny, are people that don't have the same viewpoints with me, that certainly have different experiences that I do, and that come on talking about things I really know nothing about. And by the way, that's a long list. So I have a lot of people on for that, because I don't know everything. I'm not always right. And I want to have people on that might correct me, or that might highlight my being right, because it might give me an opportunity to really highlight what is in fact going on. And then, again, the listener could walk away making up their own mind. So I think we have to keep inviting those discussions onto our radios and into our living rooms, through our televisions, and keep that going, because if we stop listening, then it's going to be us versus them all the time, and we just can't have that.
We can't. And before you go, I want to ask you, what are your thoughts on this convoy coming to an end? We know that it's all the rage everybody's talking about right now. Ottawa, Toronto, there's a lot going on with the trucker convoy. How do you see things shaping up?
Well, look, the longer it goes, it feels like the more chance that it's not going to end in a peaceful way. And it's unfortunate, because I think there had been a small group of people that wanted to make their voices heard, agree with them or not, that wanted to make their voices heard. And then it turned into all of this for whomever who might have been behind it, and whomever might have let this go on far too long. I think once upon a time, there were people that needed to be heard, and that maybe needed to have a discussion with.
Right. And what role does media play in all of that, right? I mean, even for me, I've thought at different points, do I go out there with a camera? But then when you do that, is that adding steam to something that you want to actually see calm down? So even for media, I think it's tricky.
Who are you giving a voice to? When you walk out into a big crowd, like, especially at this point, but when you walk out into a big crowd like that, you might be stumbling upon the person that really is not there for the purpose with which everybody was out there originally, or what originally was thought. But I think as time goes on, we may or may not learn a bit more about who was behind this, what was ultimately the motivation, what the message truly was, and what the message ended up being.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, for me, I've said many times, I respect people's right to protest peacefully in this country. I've seen a lot of great things come from protesting, even during the Black Lives Matter movement. And we've seen with that movement, there were some bad actors there as well. I think no matter what the protest, the mandate or purpose of it is, you're always going to have some people there doing good and some people there doing bad. That's my take.
Yeah, there's going to be a group of people or groups of people out there that are seeing another group of people getting attention, and then maybe raining on that parade. And maybe that's a case here, but I think we're going to be unpacking this for some time.